Hey, welcome back to Karen's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. Wat leuk dat je weer kijkt, dankjewel. In today's tutorial you can see how you can make this lovely summery scene. It's made with one stamp set, the garden birdhouses, and the masking technique. There's a lot of masking, but I think it's worth it. So come and join me and watch how you can make a lovely card like this. Here you see the card in a bit more detail. I'll start as usual by showing you what supplies I have used for this pretty card. The Garden Birdhouses stamp set, and a lot of the stamps from this stamp set I've already mounted them on all my blocks to save some time. You're going to need blending brushes and Tahitian Tide, Granny Apple Green, Old Olive, Soft Suede, Early Espresso, and a couple of stamping blends, Daffodil Delight, Crumb Cake and Tahitian Tide, and of course masking paper. And then I'll continue by showing you the card base. This is thick basic white. You're also going to need an Old Olive matte, and you're going to need a basic white matte. This is the ordinary kind, and I'll show you how I made. There was somebody at the door, so I had to stop filming for a minute. So I'm going to stamp on my card base, and I'm using a large post-it note for that. And I'm not sure if I have already explained it, but at the halfway mark of my cardstock I've put a pencil line, and I'm going to put my masking paper on top of that, the post-it note, and I'm going to stamp off as well. And I want my Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp off twice. So you ink up your stamp, make sure it's well inked, and then you stamp once, twice, and then you stamp onto the cardstock. And in particular here, where the mask is, make sure you press down well so that you reach right to the end of the mask. If not, you will get a funny white space, which isn't attractive. So 1, 2, and then I rotate my stamp so that I can fit the leaves in, and I go around. And then I just try to fill in any spaces which have too much white. When the ink has dried, you can remove your pencil line, and there's a small ink spot there, but my mat is going to go on top of that, so that's no problem at all. Then I'm going to score my card at the spot where the pencil mark was, so just putting it into my trimmer and scoring. And in this way you can see, oops, that my trimmer fell over. This way you can see that you have a very beautiful edge to that folded edge of the card. So I'm putting this over here. Then I'm going to continue with stamping the image itself. And first I'm going to stamp the branch at the top. And I'll do my stamping and speed up for that, and in between if I need to explain anything I will do so. This I stamp full strength, and I want my branch to go a bit in the middle of my piece so that I can put a bird on top there. This is the, it's a kind of pole that you can put a birdhouse on, but you can also use it as a fence, which I'm going to do. And before I can continue, I have to start some masking, so I'll go and do that first. You need to mask the birds, the birdhouse and the fence. So first I'm putting masks on my fence parts, And for that I'm using the masking paper, and I'm using a dark ink. This is a discontinued colour. It's Elegant Eggplant, but it's a nice dark colour. And here you see I've stamped my fence poles a couple of times. You need about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can add bits which you can cut off of the others. And the masking paper, halfway through it has a break so that you can remove the backing easily. Now normally I just don't bother with that because it's okay to remove the backing paper, but here with these tiny poles I've made sure that I've stamped over the bit, you see, so that when I have cut my poles then I can very easily remove the masking paper. And I know that where this dark bit is, that's the top, so I know this edge I can remove the masking paper. I'll show you when doing that. So I just cut up my poles, and there's no need to be very neat about it because they will fit inside what you have already stamped. So you cut one. As I said, I know this is the top, this is the bottom end, and here I can very easily, you see, remove the masking paper. Otherwise it would be really fiddly, and then you can fit it on. And you see your mask is within the dark lines. I'm leaving that bit for a minute because I can use it. Is it on straight? No, it's not. Let me get it right, that's better. And I'm leaving this bit on because I can use that for the poles that go across. So I'll go and do that and then I'll be back. Now you can see that I've masked my 3 bits of wood that go upright, and now I'm ready to stamp. Oh, I'm looking for my ink pad. And now I'm ready to stamp the ones that go across. And this is where these bits come in handy, because you can continue your masking. All my fence parts have been masked, and if you want to have freedom of movement you can now remove all the extra bits. I just press them down onto the grid paper to get rid of them. Here I want a bit of masking paper that I saved because I'm going to put some wire on the branch, and I don't want it to go over the entire branch, so I'm using my early espresso now, and this is the part that I mean, because of course you have to hang your birdhouse. So now this mask can go, and you see the effect. It goes right into the branch and not where you don't want it. I'm going to stamp the birdhouse and the birds on the masking paper and cut those as well. I need a new piece. So here you see, this is where the break is, but I'm just going to stamp in the corner, because if you only stamp in the middle it would mean a waste of a lot of paper, wouldn't it? So I'm going to fussy cut those as well, put them on the same way as I did the fence, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, I'm back because I forgot to stamp the birds. I mean, it's no good trying to mask anything if there is no image to mask. So I'll put in the birds. One goes onto the branch there. So I had already fussy cut my bird, but I'm putting it on the branch. And there we go. And the other one goes onto the top of the fence. And I can show you now that there is no need to be really careful with fussy cutting the bird, can you see? I just cut the body and the rest will stay as is. So all you have to do is put the body in the middle. I do use tweezers, much more convenient. Well, let me get rid of my stamp pad. So now I'm going to continue with fussy cutting. So with my bird, just the body, I'm cutting off its feet. Do birds have feet? I don't know. Pootjes in Dutch. They don't have paws, do they? Feet? And they don't have, no claws. This bird is too sweet to have claws. So I'll just say it has feet. And you see with my take your pick tool, I can remove the backing paper. And then with my tweezers, I can put the middle of the mask there. So I'm going to fussy cut the house and then I'll be back. You see that the top, I've cut off that ring that it hangs on because you want Sky to peek out from behind there. So putting it on. Right, now this can of course go back into my tray for some more masking. Right, then I'm going to stamp the flowers along the bottom in Oud Olive. And I alternate the two stamps in the stamp set. There's this larger clump of flowers and an individual one. Press down well so that you reach until the very ends of the masking paper. It's not very thick, but of course you have put a layer on, so you want to make sure that you stamp down well. So it's a good idea to have either your grid paper block underneath or of course the Stampin' and Pierce mat. I've got mine. I don't use it a lot. It's really nice because I have my pad underneath and this has some give to it as well. And then I'm going to use my Stampin' blends, Tahitian Tide and Granny Apple Green to colour the grass and the sky. You want a really soft colour, so you start off your cardstock and then take away a lot of the ink and then gently rub. So you see all the images that I don't want this colour on, I have masked. Same thing with the sky. This is a non-Stampin' Up brush. This is a Stampin' Up blending brush and both work really well. I had already those, and of course when I needed more I bought the Stampin' Up ones, because being a demonstrator you buy Stampin' Up, don't you? Same procedure, you ink up your blending brush and make sure that a lot of the ink is on your grid paper, and then you go across the cardstock. Now towards the top I want it just a bit darker, so I repeat the process. And it doesn't look like much, but when I remove my masks you can see that it looks really beautiful. So I'm going to get rid of my messy background and then I'm going to remove the masks with my take your pick tool again. And now I can do the colouring. My blends. Crumb cake for the fence. These are fantasy birds, by the way. I don't know any birds that have this colouring. Okay, so I'm ready to put my image onto the mat. A bit of seal in the middle, Tombow around it. Now I'm not putting Tombow very much near the edges because I'm going to put this on at an angle, and I don't want any Tombow to peek out, so push down in the middle and then it'll adhere, and you can push from the back, make sure it fits. Again, some seal in the middle, and here it doesn't matter where you put the Tombow. It can be nearer the edges because the green is going to be attached entirely. Then I'm looking for the edges of my white image. I want the white image to be on straight. So don't be fooled by the green because then it'll be on crooked. So I'm looking for the white, that the white has equal borders all around it, and then making sure it is on straight, and then you can push down and you have a very pretty card. Well, that's it. I'm sure you agree with me that although extra work is involved, the dreaded fussy cutting, the end result is worth it. If you'd like to see more of my tutorials, there are some suggestions there, and of course there is loads more on my channel. So thank you very much for watching, dankjewel voor het kijken, and see you next time. Bye, tot ziens!